We're not saying that on camera.
Andrea Pitter is Goliath.
This is just a check-in.
She's not a villain to be defeated.
ISIS did the window for the first time.
But on her block in Flatbush, Brooklyn, where neighborhood stores sit shoulder to shoulder, Pitter's covers 12,000 square feet.
In the community, I'm absolutely Goliath. But I feel like when it comes to the industry as a whole, I'm definitely David.
Pitter runs Pantora Bridal.
They should be able to catch it.
She designs wedding dresses, employs a dozen people, and symbolizes community success.
Then the answer is yes.
But even in this context, this Goliath is still David. A David who's taken out multiple loans in 10 years. A David who's received them from another David, just down the borough.
Our mission is to build wealth.
Samira Rajan runs Brooklyn Co-op. Her storefront is shoulder to shoulder.
We're confident that it will work.
Her business is a cooperative federal credit union. They provide banking services in communities where services are slight.
These are immigrant neighborhoods. These are largely minority neighborhoods. Neglected, marginalized, ignored by most mainstream financial institutions.
In the world of small business loans, Brooklyn Co-op is a David. The biggest banks every year give out thousands of loans, averaging hundreds of thousands of dollars apiece. Last year, Brooklyn Co-op approved 11 loans, averaging $24,000. But in their communities, they're very much Goliath, because that little bit of money
But we want to be able to call them and give them the option.
can set up long-term wealth.
They approved me for $4,000, which was just enough to make me feel seen. I remember what my first experience was like applying for a credit card. I felt terrible just applying for a credit card with a $125 limit. So imagine going into an establishment asking for several thousands of dollars. I never felt welcomed.
Pitter's first store was 400 square feet in Crown Heights. Several locations, and 1 decade later, she's been profiled by The Knot, won season 2 of Amazon's Making the Cut, and has become, in her industry, a trailblazing David.
People aren't used to necessarily seeing a face that looks like mine. They're not necessarily seeing celebration that feels like ours.
Yeah. We end up being like in the top 5 in business loans in Kings County if you go by volume. The members of the credit unions are the Davids, and the Goliath is like America.
Goliaths and Davids come in different sizes. Sometimes they coexist in the same business, in the same person.
It's been vacant for 4 or 5 years.
Brooklyn Co-op is a David of a Goliath.
A couple things.
Pantora Bridal, a Goliath of a David. But they both say they represent Davids of Brooklyn and beyond, finding a bit of Goliath for their financial futures.
I feel like for some people I'm David, and for others I'm Goliath. But, you know, as of right now, I'm just me. And I'm doing the absolute best that I can.
In Brooklyn, New York,
No, that's it.
I'm Matt Pearl.